This edition of Crime Reports and Rewards is brought to you by Dr. Louis Gangarosa's Orally for instant relief of sore mouth, teeth, and lips. www.oraleaf.com or call 706-294-4343. William Goolsby Heavy Equipment, land clearing, driveways, and landscaping. Call 803-257-6734. And All-American Training and Safety Consultants. Certified training in industrial, construction safety, personal protection equipment, fall and fire protection, respiratory protection, material handling and storage, electrical lockout tagouts, machinery and machine guarding, forklifts, cranes, and hoist training. Call us at 706-799-1157. Call them and tell them you appreciate them bringing you one of America's fastest growing crime shows. The stories you are about to see are real. The rewards up to $5 million are real. This is Crime Reports and Rewards with Griff Griffin and Dave Michaels, where you stay anonymous, the criminals don't.
The Austin Road Show reports that a picture taken by Joe Ray Jenkins that you see on your screen is where a shooting of several people occurred, and they are still investigating that shooting. The Austin Road Show reports the officers are fine. Some of the party folk are pretty messed up. Apparently, about 3 or 4 people got shot, and they're looking for the shooter. The shooting happened near the Olive Road Gordon Highway intersection. 3 or 4 people were believed to be shot. The shooter is still on the loose. Now, my favorite part of all of this news reporting is the comments. So let's go on down to the comments and take a look. What's this about? Well, here's, Radways. Not a surprise for that area. Boy, do we know Radways. He believes we all came from monkeys. Yet, why are there still monkeys? And then Matthew Hickman comes on and says, I hope there'll be a few less druggy criminals walking the street today. And this is all 1st of September, September 27th at 6:08. So September 27th at 6:08, just before that time, which means it was reported maybe 3 or 4 in the morning, 3 or 4 people got shot on Olive Road and Gordon Highway. David Ray turns in and says, turned out to be less than a major deal than originally thought. Well, there are no life-threatening injuries, which really is amazing. When you get shot, personally, I think that's a life-threatening injury. But they're saying, hey, they got shot, it's no life-threatening injury. I don't know. I've seen people go into shock just from, a dog bite. Anyway, Candy Worrell comes in and says, says, excuse me, but typical for this area, I live in this area and cause no problems. Please be cautious of what accusations or assumptions you make about people who live in other counties other than Columbia County. Columbia County has its fair share of violence as well. Sorry for all parties involved. Well, that was Olive Road and Gordon Highway, which is not the very best part of Richmond County. But as we just saw, Aiken County, which is a very nice county, has a whole lot of crime too. And if Columbia County reported every bit of its crime, which they don't, nobody does, you only hear about 10% of the crime that happens, then you'd hear about quite a bit of crime out in Columbia County also. Cynthia Richardson tunes in and says, so true, Candy Morrell. I agree 100%. I hope everyone's okay. And then Heather Lane Brashear writes, why do you assume that the person is from Columbia County, Candy Morrell? Practice what you preach. So tired of Columbia County getting brought into petty, you think you're better than me, bull crap. I agree that the comment of the gentleman made was ignorant. Why does he have to be from Columbia County? And then Kevin Stokes replies, it's only ignorant if it isn't true. And Ben Newsom chirps in and says, pound, drug dealers' life don't matter. So then Virginia Lee comments, Virginia Lee Kirk says, I wonder why none of the local TV stations are reporting this. And then Yvette Ruiz says, and they say since Roundtree that crime is down. That's pure BS. And then Kevin Looney writes, I don't believe it. Then Rich Porter comments, let me find out this dude Austin Rhodes making false reports. Haven't heard nothing about this in the news, and our news will report a damn dog bite. Well, guess what, Rich Porter? You only hear about 10% of the news because they only have a certain amount of time to do the news, and there's a whole lot of crime going on. As a matter of fact, Rich, we had a discussion with the Richmond County Sheriff's Office and one of their top guys there, who is actually a very nice guy, and he didn't realize that only 1/3 of all crimes are ever even reported in the first place, and only about 10% of the 1/3 that are ever reported in the first place ever make the news because they only have so much time. And then Austin comes in and says, did you see the update? And then we come on down to Wade Patterson. Damn crime that none are life-threatening. Then Alex Stevens wrote, Thug life seems to be working out for these people. Carry on. And then Janice Walker Fowler writes, life will be good when the roaches start eliminating themselves. They just need better aim. So if you know what happened at a shooting where 3 or 4 people were shot, and thanks to Joe Ray Jenkins, who is also a Facebook friend of mine and a member of our Crime Reports and Rewards reporting team, we have this picture. If you know anything about who shot 3 or 4 people near Olive Road and Gordon Highway intersection on September 27th at 1:38 a.m., please call the police. Let's get a shooter off the road if they're shooting up their brothers and sisters. There's no telling how dangerous they are. Let's get them off the street. If you know how to find them, please call the police. If the police do a press release saying that a Crime Reports and Rewards tipster's tip led to the arrest of the shooter, you will be paid. Augusta Chronicle's crime reporter Doug Stutzman writes about $19,000 worth of parts were removed from a bulldozer about 7 a.m. Monday. Deputies responded to Windsor Springs Road near Diamond Lake Way, where a Komatsu 39EX dozer owned by E.R. Snell Contracting Incorporated was found to be missing parts, according to an incident report from the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. Investigators found footprints in the area, but because of the recent rainfall, no evidence was able to be taken from the site. Well, if they found footprints, that's pretty good evidence, and I hope they got some casts of that. And I sure hope they find this individual. We all see that heavy equipment on the side of the road as we travel around. I've always wondered, doesn't anyone ever try to steal that stuff? Well, they stole $19,000 worth of parts from this one. If you know how police may find this thief or the $19,000 worth of parts, please call them and let them know that you heard about it on Crime Reports and Rewards. If they do a press release that says a Crime Reports and Rewards tipster gave them a tip that led to the parts or the suspect, and they arrest the suspect or recover the parts, and you're the tipster, you will be paid. If you've seen previous editions of Crime Reports and Rewards or gone to our Facebook page, Crime Reports and Rewards, you know that we've talked about having a Richmond County's Most Wanted. That has been discussed by the Richmond County Sheriff's Office, but so far we still don't have a Richmond County's Most Wanted. So we're going to show you Aiken County's Most Wanted. The black male you see on your screen is Stacy Keith Judge, 22, who is wanted for armed robbery and possession of a firearm during a violent crime. His last known address is 414 Church Street in Graniteville, South Carolina. Another Aiken County Most Wanted is Jeremy Clinton Lawton, 28. He's wanted for pointing and presenting and criminal domestic violence of a high and aggravated nature. His last known address was 286 Dry Gulch Road, Saluda, South Carolina. Our next Aiken County Most Wanted is Garrick Kelly, 23. He's wanted for burglary and grand larceny. His last known address was 128 Honeysuckle Trail in Sally, South Carolina. Another of the Aiken County's Most Wanted is Leon Morris Brown. He's 45 years of age and is wanted for failing to register as a sex offender. His last known address is 125 Church Street in Graniteville, South Carolina. Our next Aiken County's Most Wanted is Edwin Tilden, D-U-P-E-I-R-E, however you say that. He's wanted for failure to register as a sex offender. He's a white male who is 36 years of age. He's 6 foot in height. He weighs about 185 pounds. He has brown eyes and brown hair. His last known address is 130 Brentwood Place in Aiken, South Carolina. Our next Aiken County's Most Wanted is Cecil Brady Hill. He's wanted for pointing and presenting and disorderly conduct. Cecil Brady Hill is a white male. He's 30. His height is 5'9". He weighs about 140 pounds. Kind of scrawny rascal. His hair is brown. His eyes are blue. His last known address is 2215 Vireo Drive in North Augusta, South Carolina. Our next Aiken County Most Wanted is Alan Cliff Hatcher. He's wanted for attempted murder times 5 times, possession of a firearm, I guess that's what that means, possession of F, and I guess if you're trying to kill 5 people, a firearm might be what you might use. He's a white male, age 53, he's 5'5" in height, he weighs 200 pounds, has gray hair and brown eyes. His last known address was 7085 Cliff Place in Windsor, South Carolina. Here's a real sad one. Amy Marie Rich is on the Aiken County's Most Wanted list for obstruction of justice. That probably means whenever police were questioning her about a bad guy, she lied for the bad guy. You can't imagine how many people are manipulated by bad guys for protection and cover-ups and such. It is just unreal. And the only thing that's going to happen to you when you try to cover for a bad guy is you're going to get charged with obstruction of justice. Amy Marie Rich is a white female who's 32 years of age. She's 5'5" in height, 190 pounds. And that's probably where the guy played on her. She's, a little overweight, kind of short. And bad guys play on women like that. They take advantage of them. And then now, this one's wanted for obstruction of justice. She has brown hair and brown eyes. Her last known address was 274 Greystone Drive in Beach Island, South Carolina. The next one on the Aiken County's Most Wanted is Brandon Lee Musgrove. He's wanted for domestic violence. Now, domestic violence is whenever people love you, you beat on them. So, we're not very happy about violent people who beat on people who love them, like Brandon Lee Musgrove. He better come up with a pretty good excuse for beating on the people that love him, or we're just going to keep featuring him about every time you turn around until Brandon Lee Musgrove is in jail where he belongs. He's a white male who's about 30 years of age. He's 6'2". Oh wow, 6'2" guy beating up on people. His last known address was 710 Palm Drive in North Augusta, South Carolina. Our next Aiken County most wanted is Elizabeth Nichols Monahan. She's wanted for unlawful conduct towards a child. Last known address is 222 Eagle Lake Road, North Augusta, South Carolina. Our next Aiken County's most wanted is Otis Keith Owens. He's wanted for failure to stop for blue lights. Gee, I wonder why they turned on the blue lights in the first place. He's a white male. He's 34 years of age. He is 6'4" in height. That is a big dude, and weighs 230 pounds. Wow. He's got brown hair and blue eyes. His last known address is 856 Augusta Road in Warrenville. Our next Aiken County's most wanted is Christopher Gregory Van Orden. He's wanted for failing to stop for blue lights and a use of a vehicle without consent. In other words, he stole somebody's vehicle and then wouldn't stop for the cops. Christopher Gregory Van Orden is 34 years of age. His last known address is 1451 Hammond Pond Road in North Augusta, South Carolina. Our next Aiken County most wanted is Tomisha Renee Gary. She's wanted for financial transaction card fraud. Tomisha Renee Gary is 28 years of age. Her last known address was 2864 Banks Mill Road, Apartment C in Aiken, South Carolina. The fact that the Aiken County Sheriff's Office can't find her indicates she may have skipped the area, and many times they come to Augusta to blend in. Our next Aiken County most wanted is Michael Edward Eller. He's wanted for receiving stolen goods. Now, that is a very tricky charge to avoid because people that sell stolen goods are getting better and slicker and more conniving every single day. Michael Edward Eller's last known address was 208 Daniel Street in Jackson, South Carolina. That's just right over the bridge, just past Beach Island. So he could be hiding in Augusta, and we really feel sorry for him, but if the Aiken County Sheriff's Office charged him with receiving stolen goods, he may be in on the stealing part too, and they just were able to catch him with stolen goods in his hands, and that's all they could charge him with, even though he may also be a thief, but he's not being charged with stealing. He is being charged with receiving stolen goods, which is very tricky. A lot of people can trick you into getting you to receive stolen goods, so please be careful out there. The next on the Aiken County Most Wanted list is Thomas Durand Jackson. Thomas Durand Jackson is 29 years old, and he's wanted for criminal domestic violence, malicious injury to property, and unlawful use of a telephone. His last known address is 309 Laurie Drive, Apartment B in Beach Island, South Carolina. That is right across the bridge, very, very close to Augusta. Just go out Sandbar Ferry Road. Bam, you're in Beach Island. So Thomas Durand Jackson, who is wanted for criminal domestic violence, not only that, malicious injury to property and unlawful use of the telephone. Whenever they say domestic violence and malicious injury to property, that could be he tried to burn a house down on somebody, or he could have thrown gasoline on a car and lit it with somebody in the car. There's simply no telling what this individual may have done if he's being charged with criminal domestic violence and malicious injury to property, because that is a very, very, very serious combination of charges. That's how people die. We don't even know if the people that he injured in this matter, because he had to injure somebody, criminal domestic violence, in order to be charged with this in the first place. We don't even know if they're going to live. We don't know if they've got it out of the hospital yet. We don't know what is going on, but when they're charged with criminal domestic violence and malicious injury to property, it's bad. So this is possibly a very violent person who could burn your house down on you and your kids. So if you know how police may find Thomas Duran Jackson, whose last known address was 309 Laurie Drive, Apartment B in Beach Island, which is right across the bridge, very, very close to Augusta, please tell the police where he's at. If the police do a press release that says a crime reports and rewards viewer called in a tip that led to the arrest of Thomas Duran Jackson or any of the other unsolved or wanted cases that you've heard about, then you will be paid. WFXG Fox 54 reports a minor has been stabbed in North Augusta. The assault happened early Wednesday morning at the Ridgeview Manor Apartments on Bradleyville Road. That's also the location, or very close to the location, of an unsolved murder of a black male a few years back, whose brother continues asking if anybody knows anything about the murder of her brother, which was probably a mistaken identity to begin with. You know, it's just amazing how many people get stabbed and killed on Bradleyville Road. Yet, there's very little that's ever done about it. The minor's injuries are non-life-threatening. Yeah, you know, I love that. The guy gets stabbed, he's squirting blood everywhere, and they say, it's non-life-threatening. You get stabbed and squirt blood everywhere and see if you feel like your life's not threatened. Anyway, they're still searching for a suspect. If you can help find the murderer of a younger black male about 2 years ago on Bradleyville Road, or if you know who stabbed this young man, please call the police. If they do a press release saying a crime reports and rewards tip led to the arrest of either one of these suspects, and you're the tipster, you will get paid. The mugshot you see on your screen is a 34-year-old convert to Islam who's accused of shooting and killing a police officer in Richland Mall, which is near Columbia, South Carolina, Wednesday morning. Alvin Glenn Detention Center, the Richland County Sheriff's Office, sent us this picture. The South Carolina State Law Enforcement Division released the following information late Wednesday afternoon concerning the deadly shooting and Jarvis Hall's arrest. Agents of the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division today arrested and charged an Eastover black male in connection with this morning's shooting death of Forest Acres police officer Greg Aliyah. Jarvis C. Hall, 34, of Eastover, South Carolina, was charged with murder, a felony which carries a penalty upon conviction of death or a minimum of 30 years to life in prison. Hall was also charged with possession of a weapon during a violent crime, which carries a penalty upon conviction of 5 years in prison, in addition to the punishment for the principal crime. Hall was booked into the Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center in Richland County. The case was investigated by SLED at the request of the Forest Acres Police Department. The case will be prosecuted by the 5th Circuit Solicitor's Office. So what do we have to say about this on our Facebook page, Crime Reports and Rewards? Hey, let's lock ourselves up and cower under our beds, peeing on ourselves, as the Nation of Islam, Black Panthers, Muslim Brotherhood, and Islamic terrorists take over our streets. What could go wrong? If you see suspicious characters, call them in. Try to call them in before they're armed to the teeth and ready to kill. The sooner the better. The life you save may be your own. The Augusta Chronicle's Doug Stutzman writes, a homeless man is wanted in a theft at Blue Sky Kitchen in Augusta. A warrant has been issued for the arrest of a homeless man accused of stealing $206 Monday from an Augusta restaurant. For the past 8 months, Kevin Corley, 38 years old, was allowed by Blue Sky Kitchen Management to help clean the business for pay, according to an incident report from the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. On Tuesday morning, employees said an envelope containing $206 had gone missing from Monday's sales. Surveillance video showed Corley placing the envelope in his backpack and leaving the restaurant. If you think you know how to find Corley, please call the Sheriff's Office at 706-821-1000. Whenever people like Blue Sky Kitchen try to help those who are down on their luck like Kevin Corley, who's 38 years old and is old enough to know better, and Kevin Corley steals from those people who are trying to help them, then Blue Sky Kitchen and a whole bunch of other people are probably not going to help anybody else that really needs help. So if you're out there hurting, or you just got a job and you're 3 months away from bankruptcy and homelessness, you need to help find Kevin Corley and make an example out of him. Because when the Blue Sky Kitchen helped him out and paid him to help clean up around the place, and then he stole $206, he just stopped a whole bunch of people that really need help from ever getting help. It will probably be a long time before the Blue Sky Kitchen tries to help another homeless person. So, if you know how to find Kevin Corley, please call the sheriff. If they do a press release that says a Crime Reports and Rewards tipster's tip led to the arrest of homeless man Kevin Corley, you will be paid. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office is looking for the black male you see on your screen. His name is Dexter Cordero Barnett. He's 28 years of age. He's 6'1" in height, 285 pounds. That's almost 300 pounds. He looks like a sumo wrestler. He has black hair and brown eyes. It's case number 15320732. Dexter Barnett is wanted for an aggravated assault that occurred on 9/27/15. Dexter Barnett is believed to be living in the area of Laney Walker Boulevard or Peach Orchard Road. Oh joy! Just about everybody lives on Laney Walker Boulevard or Peach Orchard Road. Have you seen the traffic out there? If they're not standing in the middle of the road, they're parked in the middle or roaring down it at 80 miles an hour in Peach Orchard. If you have any information on how police may find Dexter Cordero Barnett, please contact investigator Shay Yates or any violent crimes investigator at the Richmond County Sheriff's Office at 706-821-1000. If a press release says a Crime Reports and Rewards tipster led to an arrest and you're that tipster, you will be paid.
This edition of Crime Reports and Rewards is brought to you by Dr. Louis Gangarosa's Orally for instant relief of sore mouth, teeth, and lips. www.oraleaf.com or call 706-294-4343. William Goolsby Heavy Equipment, land clearing, driveways, and landscaping. Call 803-257-6734. And All-American Training and Safety Consultants. Certified training in industrial, construction safety, personal protection equipment, fall and fire protection, respiratory protection, material handling and storage, electrical lockout tagouts, machinery and machine guarding, forklifts, cranes, and horse training. Call us at 706-799-1157. Call them and tell them you appreciate them bringing you one of America's fastest growing crime shows. You've been watching Crime Reports and Rewards with Griff Griffin and Dave Michaels, where you stay anonymous. The criminals don't.